Thank you for joining today's show and welcome all of you to Unfiltered Gupshups, another podcast. I am so thankful that you agreed for this lovely podcast and hope you love it also.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine.
Today's guest artist is Namrata Sharma, who is very innovative in every way. She is an engineer by education and entrepreneur by profession and artist by her heart. She lived a glamorous corporate life over 30 years in the IT and animation industry. And currently she is the co-founder of Hollywood film production company. So much in her booty already. Having won many awards and for her work, Namrata decided to bring more to meaning to the society, meaning to others' life. Over the last decade or so, she has been coaching and helping people healing holistically through colors and sound. She works with many NGOs and corporates and private groups. So thank you for joining today's show. Welcome, Namrata. And I wanted to thank AB Photos and Wisdom Senior Care to be our partners in this podcast. So our first question is coming like, can you explain what color therapy is and how it works to promote emotional and physical well-being?
Yeah, hi. So color therapy, just like the name suggests, is therapy using colors. So basically it's very basic science. I will not get into a physics class, but it's just very basic science that colors work with. We have a visible light spectrum, which we see. Colors go from violet to red, and we have rays above the violet, which are the ultraviolet and your gamma rays, and we have infrared and other rays, which we also use for broadcast and radio and other things. But this visible light that we see, the colors from red to violet, each color has its own frequency, and this frequency is used to help get our frequencies back to normal. So any dis-ease in the body, which we call disease, is basically something is not at ease in the system, whether it's in the mind or in the body or in our emotional setup or subtle setup. The vibrations or the frequency of the colors can be used to bring this back to normal. So that is the very basis of color therapy.
Okay. So where did color therapy originate and how it has evolved around over the time?
Yeah, very interesting actually. As I studied more and more, I kept going more and more back in time and figured out that color therapy originates from our oldest scriptures called the Vedas. So these are the oldest scriptures in our culture, and there are 4 Vedas. One specific Veda, the Rig Veda, talks about colors, and it basically tells us about the 7 horses of the sun and how each horse has its own attributes, its own energies, and how they can help us. And the origin is from there. And of course, after that, there has been a lot of scientific discoveries, inventions, additions to that.
I remembered one movie was there, Shyam Benegal's movie is Suraj Ka Satwa Ghoda.
Yes.
And when you mentioned the 7 horses, so is there any scientific evidence supporting the effectiveness of colors therapy and how do colors influence our day-to-day life?
So in terms of scientific evidence, actually, if you talk to medical practitioners or if you talk to the scientists, so-called people who work within the science spectrum, there is no real evidence because the doctors who work with the eyes and all other doctors and other practitioners tell us that the way we see colors is very different for each of us. So the way I see a color may not necessarily be how you see a color. And yes, they're absolutely right. Color therapy is more of an alternative way, which is more towards subjective science. Subjective science works with the body and mind together. So mind plays a very important role. How a person reacts or responds to a color, in addition to what the person is seeing, also depends on what is the psychology of the person, what is the cultural background, what are the, what is the land that person lives in. The way a person responds to a color, if he lives in the Himalayas or in snow-capped mountains versus if he lives in a tropical forest, also changes. So we respond to color based on many attributes. So we have to begin to understand, psychology in addition to what the medical or the basic science of light is, the physics, the chemistry, all of that. And when all of that comes together, yes, it does work. It has been proven that it works. And many doctors now in India and in the West, actually I do work with a lot of doctors here in the US and in India, and many doctors are now beginning to use many alternative means of medicine along with
Yes.
the mainstream medicine.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, as homeopathy and Ayurveda medicines are so. And
Right.
of course, now this alternative things are coming into our day-to-day life.
Right, because now it's being proven that almost 80% of the illnesses or diseases that we have start in the mind, and so you have to work with the mind as well as with the body.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay. So, what led you to become a color therapist, and how it is specific in your life and experience inspired this career plan?
Yeah, it's been a very interesting life that I've had. Right since childhood, I've been very fond of anything that was colors. So as a child, I used to collect those colorful feathers and broken bangles and stuff like that, because I used to love colors. And as I grew up, I ended up becoming an engineer. But also as I started working, I realized that is where my passion lies. Somewhere in the year 2005-06, I was running an animation company where we were doing an animation film, and it was like a 24-hour job. And when all of us go through this in life, we come to a point where kids are young, you have people in the house to take care of, you have children, you have work, you're working around the clock, you're running around to school and homework and assignments, and there's just so much happening that it gets a little overwhelming. And I kind of came to a point like that where I met a British English lady called Susan, who lived in Pune for half the year. And I went to her for color therapy. She did more art therapy, but I did few sessions with her, and I found that my life had completely changed. And that was when I felt that, okay, if I can now, use this to help others, that will really bring meaning to my life as well. And then I got deeper and deeper into it. I studied colors. I studied alternative medicine, specializing in colors, where I learned the whole anatomy of colors, the whole how it works with the physical body, with the subtle body. Then I learned Reiki to understand how the chakras are working with colors. I learned many meditation techniques. I started studying the Vedas because I realized that it came from there. So I've been going deeper and deeper. It's 15 years now. I'm still studying, along with working, of course. I do workshops, I do consulting, and I do other things as well.
Awesome. So I wanted to, this question came just now into my mind, that the people who love vibrant colors and those who love like gray, white colors, like what do you feel about, like how do you describe their personalities?
There is no right or wrong. We don't have anything which is a right or a wrong color,
wrong.
But but I'm coming to that. It's not, also personalities change over time. Likes and dislikes also change over time. So if you are today in a vibrant mood, you are going to end up liking vibrant colors, and vice versa. So if you can consciously choose another color, you are able to change your mood. That has also been our experience.
Yeah, I am an artist too, but I love to color in various things.
Right.
So, but I always like the vibrant color. That's why I was trying to understand that
Yes.
what personality.
Yes.
So, how do different colors typically affect moods and emotions? Can you give examples, or specific color can be used to address certain issues?
Yeah, so there have been, that, like I said, all of us will respond to color differently. There are no, the way we respond is very unique. So, for example, if I take a color red and I ask you, what do you feel if you see red? What would your answer be?
It is vibrant and...
what emotion do you think it brings to you?
Anger.
Anger. Some people will say passion, love. The heart is also always red. Hunger. Fast food joints are red. So we do respond differently. But having said that, there are certain attributes of colors. So on a very general, and branding has used it for a very long time. Intuitively, content making has used it. Artists have used, because we intuitively use this. But when we begin to understand, we know more and more. So if you see in branding, baby products are always white or pink. You will never see orange, yellow, because you want to have that calming, cooling effect. Red is more like a vibrant color. It's colorful of energy. It makes you hungry. So fast food joints are all red and yellow in that combination.
Yes.
Black is considered a very, very strong color. If you're feeling positive, you'll feel very positive. If you're feeling negative, it will make you feel very negative. So it's very strong. So you have to be very careful when you're using black, though it is also called a color of style.
Okay.
But if you look at research, if hockey teams or soccer teams, the team wearing black is always a more aggressive team.
Okay.
So that is how colors are working with us, whether we like it or not. We're seeing them all the time. There have been certain examples, like there was a bridge in London called the Blackfriars Bridge. It was a black color. A lot of people used to go there for suicide.
Oh.
And they eventually painted the bridge green, and 30% suicides reduced.
Oh.
So, without knowing, it's happening to us all the time. So,
Yeah.
the general rule is that the more on the red spectrum is your more vibrant energy colors. These are helpful for working more actively. These are helpful for more creative thoughts. These are helpful for more happiness also. Yellow is a color of happiness. If you see, emojis are all yellow, smileys are always yellow. And the other spectrum, the blues and the violets, are more calming colors.
Yes.
And again, lighter the colors. So babies, for example, associate their mother with pastel shades and the father with dark shades.
Yeah.
Because dark shades are stronger and pastel shades are more calming, soothing.
Yes.
Now, so these are basic thumb rules, but again, individualistic.
I'm sure our audience who are listening to our podcast, they will be understanding the colors more and more. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, what does a typical color therapy session look like? How do you start working with people who are into your color therapy sessions?
Yeah, so we look at 2-3 things. Like I said, this is more like a holistic healing. I work in 3 ways specifically. One is with your gross body. One is with the mind, of course, and to be able to work with the mind needs to come into a little meditative state. So my sessions always begin with meditation. So there are 2-3 ways in which we intake color. It is through the eyes, it is through food, it is through oils that we apply, it is through solarized water. So you may know that many of our grandparents and people that generation used to keep water in the sun in glass bottles, and then they used to drink that water because every color brings you certain strengths.
Okay.
And so we recommend, once I begin to know the person, of course, and understand how a person is responding to a color, we can help with what colors you should be using more in your life. Apart from that, from the mind perspective, it's more about expression. It's more about, we are going through so many thoughts every moment, and we collect so much, and that is where your unease or disease also starts, because there are so many thoughts that are making you think differently and not so right, and making you feel irritable, angry, depressed. So we are collecting all this in the system, in the subtle body system, and this is what converts into or manifests into disease in the gross body. So to help the mind, it's very important to be able to express. Now sometimes people can express in words, but most of the times they cannot, because when I'm sitting in front of someone and I will only say what I want you to know, I may not end up saying what the actual stuff is. I may not want you to know. I may not want to say it. I may not even know sometimes. With colors, what we do is we work on a more subconscious level. So we start with meditation, and if I hand you paper and I hand you colors and I say, okay, now go ahead, do what you feel like, scribble, draw lines, draw circles, then you're kind of, all that stuff that you've built up in you, you're throwing out.
Okay.
And that begins a healing process. You don't even need to tell me what's going on.
Okay.
It will just begin to heal you.
Okay.
So basically the state of the mind has to be lowered to a little meditative state, and then we kind of use colors for more and more expression.
Okay.
And that kind of starts a healing process. Again, it's a process. It's not like a switch, so it's not interventive. Today I have fever, what can I do? That's not the way it works.
Okay.
But if I do this regularly, I will never have fever. That's the way it works.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
So how long if the people come to your session, how long it will take to
So it takes, so I take 2-hour sessions typically. In about 5 or 6 sessions, people actually know what they can do when they feel a certain way. And once you have attended my session, I'm available for life. You can call me, and
Of course, in 2 hours
you can.
become
A lot of
friend.
people, will call me and say, "I have an important interview today. What do I wear?" There are questions like those because those color matters, right? Your first impression is what you're
Yes,
wearing.
yes,
So yeah, so those kind of questions come up. But in about 5-6 sessions, you pretty much know. You can take it on your own from there. And the lesser you depend on me, the better it is, because that's what I tell everyone I work with. The more independent you become, the better it is for you to heal. But I'm always available if you need any help.
That's awesome. Listen, audience, she is always available. What are the some common misconceptions about color therapy? How do you address the clients or the medical community? How will you explain them what is color therapy?
Okay, so misconceptions, basically a lot of different words have been associated with color therapy. Gemstones also come under color therapy these days. Lights also come under color therapy, and everyone is doing a brilliant job and great stuff. My only point to people all the time is that it is a process and it is a belief system. It's not like an allopathic medicine that is going to work on your system, on your gross body, on your brain, and it's going to make you feel better. It is a space where you have to be involved. You have to want to heal. You have to have patience, and the mind has to work with the body, and only then you are able to kind of slowly get over it. So it's not like a lot of people say 5 sessions are done. I don't feel great. Oh, but if you have had an illness for 40 years, 5 sessions can't make it better.
Yes.
But 40 sessions will make it better. So if you consistently keep doing it, it will help you for sure. With the medical practitioners, now, like I said, more and more practitioners are believing in holistic ways of healing. So they are more open to discussion. But a lot of times, so for example, when I worked with a palliative care back in Pune, and when I first went there, the doctor said, "Oh no, we are not going to give you access to the patients. You have to first work with the nurses and the caregivers here." And I did 1 or 2 sessions with them. Then they said, "Okay, now we'll include the family of the patients and see how they are feeling." And eventually, when they began to see that, okay, it's making a difference, they brought the patients in. And so it's a process of building their confidence levels as well. And when they see that things are working, eventually they came to a point where they said, "Now you need to write a research paper because every palliative care should do this." So you get to that point. You just have to have patience. You can't go there in the first time and say, "No, it works. I want you to make sure it..." Let's give it a try. It may work. And if it works, it works. I mean, it's good for all of us. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, I personally am not attached to what, the result is going to be, because it's good for them. They have to work towards it. They have to get better, and I'm here to help. But if they don't want to do it, and then that's completely their choice. I mean, I'm not going to push you or force you. Or
Yes. It's such a wonderful job you're doing.
I'm trying to.
How can listeners incorporate color therapy and principles into their everyday lives? Those who are listening to us today.
Yeah, sure. There are 2 things that can be done. I think one is, like I said, no color is good or bad. The only thing is that the more darker the color gets, the more heavier it gets in energies. So the more you work with lighter, brighter shades, the better it is. That we should keep in mind, and we should make sure that we work with a balance. So when we are eating food, even when we go to a buffet, we like to pick some green stuff, some red. So we like to see that, right? Whether we like it or not, we are going to get a visual feel from there. But the more we try and balance the colors that we are taking in, whether it's through food, whether it's through surroundings. If I'm sitting in the office all day and if my office is all white, I must get out and look at the trees or look at the sky for some time, because I must get other colors in as well. Or I must look at flowers or stuff like that. Or I can just put a red colored bulb in my house and sit in that light for some time. But the more you spread out the colors, the more you balance the colors in your life, the more it helps you. The second thing is, which is very important, is to consciously be able to choose. So if I'm feeling unwell today, or I'm feeling low or depressed, my natural choice is a very dull color. I will pick a dress which will look dull. If I can consciously shift that, and if I can pick a brighter orange, yellow shade and wear it, I am going to feel better whether I like it or not, because that it's going to start playing on you, right? The colors do play on you.
Yeah.
So the brighter the if you can vice versa, if I'm too restless today, if I'm too excited, if I'm too, I don't know what to do, I must choose a calming color. I should wear something that's more calming. If you know you're going to go, the secret here, if you know you're going to go into a place which is going to have a lot of dispute or argument, pink is your color.
Okay.
In a pink, you will always remain calm.
Okay. And what about white? You're always at peace.
You're always at peace, yeah. But pink, it's a balancing color. So green, for example, is a very balancing color. It's the center of the spectrum. So if you want to balance your BP, if you want to balance anything that you want to balance in your life, green helps you. And pink is the other side where the violet and the red meet. That's where magenta and the pinks get generated. So that's another color which is like very, very balancing. It's right in, it meets, the both ends meet there. So pink will make sure that the other person also doesn't get angry.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you share any success stories of examples that how the color therapy in the whole journey till you have done 15 years of work you have done? So any particular thing you want to mention, any particular incident, case?
Yeah, there are a few great stories. There are a few not so good stories, of course, but like I said, Cipla Palliative Care was one great story where from starting with not really sure of how things will be, they actually wanted me to write a paper. Unfortunately, COVID kind of came in between. But another case that I remember and, talk about often is also I came across a doctor in Pune, and she was going through cancer and in her final stages, and she kind of said to me, chemo and other doctors are not going to be able to help me if I don't show certain improvement in my next PET scan. So I really need to get better. And well, it's always the belief of that person and the hard work and everything of that person, but we did very intensive sessions with her, and thanks to that she kind of showed great improvement. Even the doctors could not believe that chemo can do this. So the improvement was twice the expected improvement, or a little more than that actually. So the doctors were also quite shocked, and so was she was happy, of course. But then she underwent surgery, and then she got on a path to get better herself, and now she's back to practice and
that's awesome.
doing all her work. So it just feels good to see people who are like really, it's your willpower, it's your wanting to do something, it's your belief in the system, it's your hard work, and you get there.
Yes, the person should feel like, okay, I have to get better, otherwise no one can help.
Exactly.
Any kind of holistic way cannot help
you.
And
Yes, that's
so the future of color therapy, how do you see that people will be adopting it more, or what? How it will evolving around us? Are there any new development researches?
Yes, a lot of new research is happening right now. Colors are being used more and more in various forms and formats. Like I said, gem therapy is also using colors. Light therapy has always been using colors, but first it used to be more ultraviolet and infrared. Now more and more colors are being included in that, and a lot of medical practitioners have also started using colors to kind of heal from the mind. But very interesting study that's also which I'm also a part of, and which we are trying to figure out, is because sounds also have similar vibrations. If you know, there are 7 notes along with the 7 colors, and they work on the same vibration. So a particular shade of red, the absolute red, is, if you know Hindustani classical music, it's called the Kali Char, that's your octave. And the first note, sa, of that and the red are absolute same frequency. So, and we are audio-visual people. As human beings, we work with audio-visual. Either one missing, we are kind of, we don't know what to do. So, if you can use the same frequencies in the visual and in the audio, the effect is multifold. So your healing effect is multifold, your creativity is multifold, your learning is multifold, your clarity is multifold. So this kind of research is also happening. It's very, very interesting, and I really hope that it's going to have a great, great future.
Of course, of course. And how, one more question I want to add here, how meditation and color, how you incorporate both of them in the session?
Yeah, so there are 2-3 things. Like I said, one is of course talking to people and consulting. In the session, I start with meditation, and I keep the frequency of the session at that level itself. So during the session, we are not talking, chatting.
Definitely.
Sometimes people might end up crying because a lot of stuff is coming out,
Okay.
or feel happy or whatever. But most discussions are done post the session, and you keep working as I keep instructing you. So we try and keep it as meditative as we can. In addition to this, I also paint. We discussed it
Yes,
last
yeah.
time. So I make these paintings which are vibrational. So I meditate a lot because I know that canvas is going to carry it. Of course, it carries the vibration of the paint colors, but it's going to carry my vibrations as well.
Okay.
So I kind of build my vibrations to a certain level, and these are all intent based meditative paintings which I create for people. So if I give you, so first I will speak with you, I will understand what you need, I will work on those vibrations, I'll give you a painting, and then I kind of give you a meditation to do with that painting. So as you sit in front of that painting and meditate every day, it begins to help you because those vibrations are helping you.
That's awesome. Anything else you want to tell us, our audience, that how they can reach out to you, where they can reach out to you? So, and if they want to
Yeah.
take any session with you, how they are reachable to you?
Yes, of course. I think in your link you can share my details. I am on Instagram by the name Namaha by Namrata, Namah by Namrata, Namrata. You can reach out to me there. Check the handle.
All the
I'm not,
descriptions, all the links will be given in the description
yes,
also.
do that, and I'm more than happy to help in whatever way I can.
Okay.
Always available.
Thank you very much for this wonderful session with Unfiltered Gupshup. I'm very thankful.
Thank
And
you.
I also paint and sing, so I was trying to connect with you and understanding the things which is going to what you are talking about, and very thankful that you agreed for this session.
Thank
and
you
I'm
so much.
thankful to AB Photos and Wisdom Senior Care and and a lot of other volunteers who are behind the screen. So thank you very much for this session.
Thank you so much.